In this video, we're going to explore the Show Me menu in a little bit more detail. Now, the Show Me menu is one of the great helps, especially when you are an early user of Tableau, when you're just starting out, because by default, there are some visualizations that Tableau will make for you in a pretty straightforward manner. In fact, there are about 24 of them. Now, there's actually kind of an infinite variety of visualizations that you can make in Tableau, but that's really a topic for a more advanced video later. Usually, when we're starting out, we're going to be creating one of these 24 kinds of visualizations. Now, as we mouse over each of these visualization types, it tells us, like for a text table, that you need at least one or more dimensions. One or more dimensions for a heat map, or one or two measures. One or more dimensions for a highlight table, one measure. And so as we mouse over these, we see that there's a lot of overlap. And really the requirements for one kind of meet the requirements for a whole bunch of others. But let's go ahead and actually use the Show Me menu just to kind of have you understand how it works. So we're going to actually start with making a text table. And for that, we need one or more dimensions and one or more measures. And so what we're going to use is we're going to use the customer segment, and I'm going to either control click on Windows or command click on the Mac to select more than one field. So I'm going to click on segment, then I'm going to hold down control or command depending upon your platform and choose order date. And then I'm going to continue to hold control or command and come down here and click on sales. Now, as soon as I've done that, a whole bunch of the graph types over here light up, and I can actually choose a text table or a heat map, etc. Well, I'm going to choose the text table, and Tableau will, to the best of its ability, create you a table. Now, it knows special things about dates, so even though I selected segment first and then date, it knows a lot about dates, and so it generally will default to placing the date on the x-axis and the segment in the y-axis, and then it sliced and diced the sum of sales by each of the combinations of segment and order date that we provided. Now, that's actually a really nice visualization. Tables are visualizations too, and there are correct times to use tables that make it so that tables should be used. We won't go into that right now, but this is perfectly fine as a visualization. But notice that all of these same Show Me choices that were lit up before are still lit up. And so I can choose to switch to a heat map or a shaded table, or even make some pie charts. And we'll be exploring when to use each of these visualization types in other videos. But just note that the Show Me tab or the Show Me menu allows us to select and choose a whole variety of visualizations. And we can really kind of do does that one work better? Or is this one better? Or is this better? It makes it very easy to do some trial and error and kind of sort out which one is really telling the story that you want to tell. All right? Now let's make another visualization, and I'm going to show you one additional thing that might occur that might be surprising to you when you're working with the Show Me tab. If I come here to the Show Me menu here and I mouse over histogram, note that what it says is to make a histogram, which is basically a distribution of the values in a particular measure, I need one measure. But read what it says below. It says creates a bin field. Creates a bin field. Now watch what happens. If I want to do a histogram on sales, I'll just click on sales, and then I will click on the histogram. When I click on the histogram, ta-da, you'll see that I actually have a different measure up here. In the columns, I have sales bin, which is actually a new dimension that has been created. We'll cover this later when we're doing histograms and distributions, but I just want you to be aware right now that as you're experimenting with these different Show Me graphs, that sometimes Tableau will actually create new fields in order to create the histogram. We could just as easily have created that sales bin field manually and created this histogram manually, but for now, that's all we need to know about Show Me.